I moved into a cheap apartment in a crumbling building. The super showed me the unit down the hall. It was a little worse for wear, but it had good bones, so I paid the first month's rent and moved right in. A few days later, I started hearing odd noises in the apartment above me. Then I found a pile of forgotten mail for people who didn't live there anymore. The lights flickered and the air grew thick with a strange smell. One day, while chatting with a neighbor, I mentioned my apartment number, 306. She looked at me like I was crazy. 306 doesn't exist. That unit was sealed off years ago, she said. I shrugged it off, chalked it up to a miscommunication, and went about my business. But then I started finding things that didn't make sense. Old Polaroids of a young couple living in the apartment, a journal with entries detailing the daily life of a woman and her child, toys and children's books that no one had come to collect, and worst of all, a set of keys that fit the front door, but not the lock on my actual apartment. One night I heard footsteps in the ceiling above me. I froze, listening intently. Then a whisper came from behind the wall. "Get out while you can." I dismissed it as a creepy one-off, but then it happened again. And when I turned around, there was no one there. Then the whispering started. Every night I'd lay in bed trying to sleep, and the whisper would grow louder. Get out, please get out." Days turned into weeks, and I became obsessed with finding out who lived in my apartment and why they were trying to warn me. I pored over old city directories, but the only record I could find of anyone living there was a birth and death certificate for a baby who lived there in the 90s. But how could this be? Was the building haunted by the ghost of a dead child? Then one night, I woke up to the sound of heavy breathing. I sat up in bed and saw a dark figure standing in the corner of my room. I screamed, but the being only got closer. I buried my head under the covers, squeezing my eyes shut. Then the breathing stopped. When I finally dared to look up, I saw my own face staring back at me from the mirror. But it wasn't me. Whoever it was had red, puffy eyes and was fast asleep. That's when I realized I wasn't crazy. The apartment was, and if I didn't get out of there fast, I might never leave again. But just as I turned to run for the door, I heard a voice behind me. "Where are you going?" I froze. "You can't leave, not until I do." As I turned to face the voice, my blood ran cold. There in the mirror was my own terrified reflection.